Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you with another thought for the day. My wife and I were talking just the other day about the judgment that was found against Donald Trump in the New York court. That's Judge Engoron passed judgment on Donald Trump for these civil fraud charges and fined him $354 million, and he's been required to make a bond for the amount of the fine that was levied against him. And we were talking about that, and the first thought that came into mind was that it's got to be unconstitutional. And I've got some receipts that I'll show you right after this. So the reason that I said that I believed that it was unconstitutional was the cruel and unusual punishment clause in the Bill of Rights, and it's the 8th Amendment, and I'll put it right up here. And it says, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Now, the whole basis for this, I think, was really centered around the death penalty and how that could be construed as being cruel and unusual punishment for certain crimes. And you know, I guess that may work in a lot of cases, and it may not work in a lot of other cases. But in Donald Trump's case, this excessive fine that was imposed, it has to be, I believe, commensurate with the losses that those who have allegedly been defrauded actually suffered as a result of the Trump organization's actions. Now, what he did and what's been alleged, and I guess now, I don't know if it's been proven in court or not, but Judge Engoron decided that he was guilty before the trial was even held. There has to be some commensurate, some equality for the basis of this excessive penalty, this excessive fine that was levied against Donald Trump. And the fact that he was just yesterday, I believe, denied a 30-day extension to try to pull all the assets together to come up with the bond, that got thrown out by the same judge. And I just believe that his civil rights, according to our U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the 8th Amendment passed, it's just absolutely crazy. So I told you I'd have a receipt here, and this is from Mark Levin, and I'll put the article right up here, and it's from Mark's own website, and it says, Trump posts text of the 8th Amendment after Levin notes the constitutional challenge to excessive fines. And the guy's one of the sharpest legal minds that I can think of anywhere, and he was thinking the same thing that I was thinking. He probably thought of it before I thought of it, so I got to give the guy credit for being as smart as me. How about that? But there's absolute truth in this whole thing, that this is an excessive fine, and it points to one of the things that I'm really concerned about. It's the powerless Supreme Court. If you think back just a little bit, the Supreme Court intervened in a case, and said, you as President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, cannot forgive student loans. And he continues to do it one after another. He just did it earlier this week, and he's getting away with it. And pretty much all the pundits, and I agree with them on this one, that this is just nothing but pandering to the youngsters that are suffering under, I guess, suffering of their own accord by the student loan debts that they may be carrying. And just outright forgiving those kinds of student loans for whatever reasons and for whatever is there without an official act of Congress is unconstitutional, so saith the Supreme Court. Well, here we are again with the Supreme Court being totally powerless to enforce its own decisions and support the Constitution wherever it may rear its ugly head when somebody has been victimized by the rights guaranteed us, given to us by God, and the rights that our government is supposed to guarantee for us on our behalf. And the Supreme Court is totally powerless to make any intervention or allow any intervention without somebody bringing them a case, without a complaint, without something. And the way it stands in this particular court right now, as I understand it, that Trump is not allowed to even consider an appeal until he sets the money aside to cover the fine. Now, that's going to mean that he has to possibly liquidate some assets. It may be that he can raise some money here and there to do that, and there may be a way for him to do that, but it's not going to happen in the time frame that they have set for him. And Letitia James, who is the lead prosecutor in this whole thing, the New York State Attorney General, she has come out and said that if he is unable to and does not pay this bond to guarantee this funding, to pay this fine, then she's going to begin seizing his assets. Well, there's equity involved in all this kind of stuff, that the penalty should be at least on par with the amount of damages that the banks suffered based on frauds, based on Trump's potentially fraudulent actions by possibly overestimating the value of certain properties, that kind of thing. And by doing so, they boxed themselves, I think, into a constitutional crisis corner where the only way that this is ever going to get resolved is to appeal to the Supreme Court, get it in front of those 9 justices, and let them interpret the Constitution the way it was intended, the way it was written. And I don't think that the Supreme Court can act unilaterally and intervene in this case and or the other case with the student loan forgiveness by Joe Biden. We are, I believe, living in a state of tyranny right now, that Joe Biden and his administration are taking liberties that they are not allowed to take, and they are not being challenged. And I fault the Republican Party for not following through with their impeachment as fast as they can go. Yeah, I know there's the outcome of any kind of a successful impeachment, and if he's found guilty in the Senate, then we get to have President Kamala Harris, and that may or may not be even worse than what we've got right now. I am really, really concerned about what's going on in this country right now under this tyrannical regime that they call the Biden administration. He is probably one of the most corrupt people that has ever held that office. And I hope that someday justice finds its way to his doorstep. Love to hear what your thoughts are on this whole mess, and I'd love to see your comments below. And if you found anything in here that was of interest and you found enlightening, then please give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share this, and make sure you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.